Stop focusing on the pleasures of this life. This stuff don't last. I met a man who had everything. Houses, cars, foreign trips, money, all over the place. Went on vacation in Sweden. Him and his wife were going for dinner. She went to the closet to get dressed. And all of a sudden, she started speaking some odd things from her mouth. He's looking at her like, what's going on with my wife? We're here in Sweden on a luxury vacation, enjoying ourselves, about to go out to dinner. And all of a sudden, she's making these noises. Come to find out, he had to rush her to the hospital. She started bleeding from the brain, hemorrhaging from the brain. 80,000. I'm your host, Moses Newsom, here with the midweek drop. Yo, it's kind of interesting today, guys. Welcome to the show. It's crazy the things that's going on in this world, but I'm really excited to bring you guys some thoughts I've been thinking about that's been on my mind, and hopefully you guys walk away with some jewels, some things that you can take with you and kind of learn from and grow from. But what I'm going to talk about today is something where this thing that I'm talking about, it doesn't need food. It never stops. There's no forgiveness in it. It doesn't care about your feelings. You can't plug it up to a wall. You can't put batteries in it. You can't even take it to bed with you. This thing I'm talking about is what we call time. And, so many of us don't really understand the true value of time and what that means and how it affects your life and how you're impacted by time. And I really want to delve deep into this because a lot of us are wasting time. And what I mean by that is, we all get a set of 24 hours and, what you do in that 24 hours is your business. But I'm here to set the record straight. What you do in your 24 hours can impact you for that month, that day, that year. Hell, it can impact you for a lifetime. So I really want to delve deep into the science of what time means and how we exploit it, how we hurt it, or how it can hurt us. So let's dive straight in. So, a lot of people, they have a lot of aspirations, a lot of dreams they want to accomplish, but don't really understand the physics of how time affects that. And a lot of us are doing things that are either improving our lifestyle, improving your goals, the things that you want to accomplish. But there's a lot of people out there that don't realize that the things that we're doing, whether it's negative, whether it's getting into an argument with your wife or getting into an argument with your husband, impact time. And time is a very precious thing. Here's the funny thing about time. It never, ever stops. It never stops. So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, it could be a hurricane, it could be a volcano, it could be the end of the earth, it could be, a funeral, it can be a celebration. No matter what, time does not stop. So I want to kind of show you guys something that's pretty interesting. What I have here is an hourglass. And let's kind of take a look at this hourglass, and I'm going to walk you through what this symbolizes and what this means. So the bottom half of this is white sand. And your life right now is about a grain of sand on the beach when you think about eternity. So when you turn this hourglass upside down, this side of the hourglass represents your life. And roughly, most Americans, most human beings could look forward to about an 80 to 100 year span of life on Earth. Let's just say 80 for the simple fact of 80 or 80,000. Let's say 80 for the simple fact of 80 or 80,000, the podcast, and that's what we're all about. Are you living for 80 years on Earth, or are you more concerned about the people you love, the people you impact, what people think about you, and how that lasts for 80,000 years? So let's talk about it. As you see this sand coming through the bottom of this hourglass, the top represents your life. And everything you do, you say, you feel, you impact people, how you treat people, whether in a positive, negative way, it feeds into what your eternity may look like. It shapes that. And we all have it. We all have an internal hourglass that does not stop for anything. Now, let me talk a little bit about the podcast and what we represent at 80,000. What we try to do is we take guests on the show and we try to unpack their lives in roughly about an hour, maybe hour, 20 minutes. Let's just say an hour for the hourglass sake here. In an hour, we're going to take your entire life and we're going to break down the positives, the negatives, the learnings all in 1 hour. And hopefully by the end of that hour, we would have learned enough about you to understand what your 80,000 goal is. Are you living for 80 years or do you just, want to live for the time being? Or are you trying to take your legacy and your impact beyond 80,000 years? So that's what our intention is, to learn from our guests in about an hour flat. Sometimes we go over depending on how complex that person's life may be. But when you think about time and you think about what you can do in time, the big question, I want everybody to leave a comment in the chat, and please subscribe, like, share, subscribe. That helps out the podcast, helps out the algorithm. But the question I have for the audience is, are we wasting time? And if so, is it the people that we surround ourselves with? Is it the people we keep company with? Is it ourselves wasting our own time? And let me break that down. So you're married, right? You get in an argument with your wife or you get in an argument with your husband, and you've made a complex decision in your mind that you want to carry on that argument for, let's say, an hour or two. And at the end of that hour, you actually never even resolved anything. And, sometimes you end on an argument agreeing, sometimes you don't. And sometimes you simply say, hey, we can agree not to disagree, or disagree to agree, or whatever the case may be. And you haven't really resolved anything. But one thing I can tell you for sure, time didn't stop. And when you think about that time you spending arguing for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, and you never resolved anything, you never got to a solution, you never got to the root of the issue, you wasted time, which could have been applied to something else more positive to move your relationship forward. So I know you're probably thinking, well, how do you resolve that? Well, it's simply just listening. Sometimes we get so caught up in ready to defend ourselves or throw some reasoning out there to make ourselves look good, or make the other person that we're talking to think that we know more than them, or we're better than them, or our ideas are right, and don't worry about your ideas, you need to focus on mine, that we don't take time to simply sit back and listen. And if we sit back and listen, and we can comprehend, and we can analyze what people are saying through their thoughts, the emotions, and what they're actually saying, and take those things in, we can actually sit down and have an intelligent conversation, so we can spend 90% of the time figuring out a solution and less time talking about the problem. And what that does, that cuts down time, that we're wasting. Because remember, while we're doing this, time doesn't stop. It keeps going, right? This side is already empty. I'm turning this back over. So think about everything that you do in your life and the people you surround yourself in and the things that you're doing. And are you feeding time the right things? Because here's the thing, time doesn't need food. You don't have to charge it up. You don't have to put a battery pack in it. You don't have to like it. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're black, white, Chinese, Asian. It doesn't care. Time doesn't discriminate. It will continue to go on and on and on and on. What's puzzling to me is the life that we live is pretty interesting. You got a subset of people who spend so much time, here we go back talking about time again, focusing on luxury cars, focusing on how big their house is, the status, who they hang around, how expensive of a restaurant you can go to, how much is in the bank account, who you're affiliated with, who knows your name, who doesn't know your name, what people think about you, what people think you can do, what people think you can't do. Here's the funny thing about it, guys. One thing is guaranteed to happen in time. We're all going to leave this earth one day. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret. None of those things I just mentioned, you can take with you. I'm sorry, surprise. Surprise. None of those things you can take with you. The only thing that you can take with you is your relationship with Christ, if you have one, the people you impacted and how you made them feel, the lives that you changed for the positive or negative, what you did or did not do, who you impacted, who you loved, who you hated. Those are the things that come with you in that afterlife. Now, here's the thing about it. What maybe you guys can understand or answer a question. Why do we spend so much time worrying about the real estate on earth and how that looks? Which, let's remind you, the life we live on earth is like a grain of sand on a beach. It's very short. And we're more concerned about that short amount of time on earth than eternity when we have to live for eternity. So why are we so concerned about the life that we live on earth in terms of what feels good, what looks good, who got status, instead of worrying about who can I change, whose life can I change, who can I impact, what message can I send to somebody that makes an emotional connection with them to change their thoughts or patterns to make them do something positive to support somebody else? Why is that not the bigger focus in society? Could it be social media? Could it be videos? Could it be TV? Could it be commercials? Could it be what your friends talk about? Could it be the status quo of what successful is? When in real actuality, none of those things you can take with you. You can't. You really can't. You can't cash a check in heaven. You can't take a Bentley with you to the afterlife. None of that stuff is going to give you a different status. When you leave this earth, you start from ground zero. And what happens in that afterlife is determined on the smaller time that you have here on earth. So why are we so concerned with the real estate on earth and not the real estate in heaven, which is eternity? And it all has to do with time. Are we wasting time? What are we doing with the time that we have? A lot of, and I want to speak to women here for a second. We want, from the looks of it, a lot of women want a man that's successful, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right? But when you talk about, I want to go after the bag, he's got to have this. How about going after a brother who has a mind? How about going after a brother who has common sense? How about going after a brother who can take an idea and turn it into something that can impact millions in a positive way? We are so concerned and so focused on the wrong things. We're losing time. We're wasting time. And by the time you figure out that that guy's not the right guy for you, because you went after the wrong things. He knew it, so he treated you like how you came at him. You wasted time. You wasted time. Gentlemen, going after women because what you see on their front side or back side, right? Guess what? Newsflash. Everything you see, every other man sees the same thing, and they're attracted to it. Why not go after a woman for what's in their mind, not what's up here or back here, right? Find out what's in their mind. What are they thinking? What do they want to accomplish? Do they have the same goals as you? Are they willing to ride or die with you when it comes to long-term goals and empowerment? What's the legacy? What are they trying to create? What's their hot buttons? What can they bring to the table when it comes to intellectual conversation that can move nations? That's the most valuable thing in the room. Not here and here. Hell, if you don't even have that, you can go down the store, down the street and get that in 2 seconds. But is that real? So I want you guys to really think about time. I want you to really sit back and think about what I'm talking about and how that impacts you. Time. Are we wasting time for the little bit of time that we have on earth? 80 years, 90 years, that's not a long time. Right? Some people say, oh, well, I want to get 2,000 degrees and I don't need a man. And, I'll find a man later when I got this certain level of status. When I accumulate a certain amount of things, then I can go after a man. But guess what, ladies? Newsflash. You're looking for a man who's at a certain level, right? Who's got a certain amount of ego at that point. He's probably traveled half the world. And now he has a certain expectation and he may treat you unlike you want to be treated because he feel like he got that status. Why not go after a man that you can grow with, who has a vision, who has an intellectual understanding of what long-term growth means, how you guys can grow together and experience the world together, when you can look back 10 years and say, hey, remember when we was in that apartment? Hey, remember when we moved to that house? Hey, remember when we bought our first house? Hey, remember when we went on that first vacation? You lose all those experiences, which means that you wasted time. Oh, no, but no, you want to skip the line of those experiences and get with somebody who's already been there, done that. And when he treats you like whatever's on the side of the street, on to the next. Guess what you just did? Wasted time. The decisions, guys, that we make are very important. And we don't have a lot of time to make them. But here's the thing. Time will reward you in different ways. Let me explain. Let's talk about health. If you take care of your body, you put good things in your body, time will give you time back. If you put bad things in your body, and I'm not just talking about food, I'm talking about anything, energy, things that you visualize, things you see, food, what you do. When you put those negative things in your body, time will not reward you. Time will speed up. And before you know it, a whole lifetime has passed you. And you miss the beautiful pleasures of life, the simplistic things of life, right? When's the last time you got out and just breathe fresh air, cut all your social media off and just say, you know what? Let me experience what the sun looks like, what the trees look like, what it feels like outside. Let me listen to the birds. Let me get my thoughts together to understand what I want to do for the next 20 years. We don't do that. We're such in a fast-paced life. You ever go in the store and you see people online and they're just kind of impatient and they just, they just want to get in and get out? We're in such a rush society. Let me break something down to you guys. Trust me, you don't have to rush life. It's not that long. It is not that long. You get in the store, oh my God, where's the cash register? I need to get out of here. Why? Slow life down. Get on the road, you get an accident, you're in a rush. Life is already short. Why are we trying to speed it up? My recommendation to everybody, take the scenic route of life. Slow it down. Because guess what? Time is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to keep on going. Slow down and pay attention to the details. We're so quick to get in these relationships and move things so fast. Sit down, and when you meet a guy, go read a book on your first date. Talk to him. Have an intellectual conversation. Don't worry about what he's driving. Don't worry about what's in his bank account. Don't worry about where he work at. Talk to him. Find out what's in his mind. Gentlemen, stop looking at the body. Stop looking at sit down at a bookstore, at a restaurant, wherever and have an intellectual conversation. Invite a woman over to your house to read a book that you've been longing to read. See what her thoughts are on that book. See if you guys think the same. Simplistic things can make a difference for 20, 30 years. We've taken the simplicity out of life so much that we don't realize that we're losing time and we're wasting time because we're not understanding the specific details that matter in our lives. So I'm just asking everyone, leave a comment. Are we wasting time? And if we are, what can we do to get that time back? Because here's the answer. Here's the real answer. When you waste time, you can't ever get that time back. You can't. So when you make a decision to sit there and argue about something, whether it's with a business partner or whether it's with a confidant, a friend, or your partner, your wife or your husband, why not take the time to come up with a solution instead of talking about the problem for 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes? Let's find solutions, guys. Let's stop arguing. Let's stop looking at the obvious, the bodies. Let's stop looking at the money. Let's stop trying to get the bag. And let's have an intellectual conversation first with ourselves to understand what we want and what we need and what we desire, who we want to impact and how we want to impact and how we want to bring that to the world. That's the real estate that's going to take care of you for eternity. Here's the funny thing about it. I say life is about 80, 90 years. The truth, you want to know the truth? Your life can be done tomorrow. You don't know, I don't know, only God knows. That makes life feel super short. So here's what I encourage you guys. Walk every day with God. Walk with intention, walk with purpose, walk with love, walk with the heart to impact others besides yourself. Because the real estate that we should be focusing on is the real estate that we call our permanent real estate, which is eternity after this life. Stop focusing on the pleasures of this life. This stuff don't last. I met a man who had everything. Houses, cars, foreign trips, money, all over the place. Went on vacation in Sweden. Him and his wife were going for dinner. She went to the closet to get dressed. And all of a sudden, she started speaking some odd things from her mouth. He's looking at her like, what's going on with my wife? We're here in Sweden on a luxury vacation, enjoying ourselves, about to go out to dinner, and all of a sudden she's making these noises. Come to find out, he had to rush her to the hospital. She started bleeding from the brain, hemorrhaging from the brain. He sold everything. Cars, houses, everything. Got rid of everything. And what he told me was, for the first of my life, I realized none of that stuff mattered. The only thing that mattered were the times I spent with her. Not the cars, not the houses, not the trips, but just the genuine time spent with her. All the other stuff didn't mean anything. So I'm asking you guys, I'm imploring you guys, stop wasting time. Just stop doing it. Focus on impact. Focus on family. Focus on getting to the solution instead of talking about the problem. Because the problem's always going to be there if you keep talking about it without a solution, and you'll never get to where you need to get to. Focus on positivity. Focus on love. Focus on bringing people together. Focus on change. Focus on an algorithm that impacts continents, right? Not just your neighborhood. Don't complain, come up with a solution, right? We continue every single day to waste valuable time when time won't give us that time back. It's not going to turn around the corner and say, hey, I forgot you. Come on back. Let me catch you up. No, it doesn't do that. Time keeps ticking, and it needs no batteries, no solar power, no electricity, nothing. It just keeps going. And we keep wasting it. And we keep not understanding the value of what it means to us, our families, and the legacy that we leave behind. So I'm going to sign off, and, my last thoughts of this, guys, if you're sitting in your living room, if you're watching this from your cell phone, I want one thing to be taken away from this. Time waits for no one. And the things that you build up in this life, like your heart, your houses, your cars, your bank accounts, your 401ks, your lavish trips, your expensive clothing, your jewelry, your relationships, your status quo, who people see you are and who people don't see, that does not matter. Because when you leave this earth, can't take it with you. So think about what I said. The message is, stop wasting time. Let's start impacting lives. Let's start loving one another. Let's start changing continents, decisions, global decisions based upon having the ingenuity and the concise thought to come together and say, you know what? I can do this. Why? Because I can. Ladies, stop accepting just the bag, the bank account, the cars. That's all smoke and mirrors. Look into the intellectual mind of a man and see if he has the power to change the world. And when you do that, you'll get everything you desire. And the biggest thing you should be desiring is how I leave this earth and who I impact. Who's going to say my name 80,000 years from now and say I made a difference in them? Because that message, that impact is going to be the design and the infrastructure of your life for eternity. And you'll be glad that you made the decision today to start building your real estate in heaven later. I promise you, the rooms look much better in heaven. And guess what? You don't have to worry about homeowners insurance. You don't have to worry about getting upgrades. You don't have to worry about getting a home equity line to fix nothing up. You don't have to worry about getting flood insurance. You don't have to worry about getting your grass cut. You don't have to worry about putting furniture in. You don't have to worry about beautification of it. It will already be designed for when you're ready to go. I promise you. But when you leave this earth, the very soul house that you put all your value into will someday become dust. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It will become dust. The cars, the house, the jewelry, the money, all that will become dust one day. So are you worried about the things that will eventually become dust? Or are you focused on the things that will design your real estate in heaven forever? That's it. I'm signing off. It's Moses Newsom, 80,000. Leave a comment in the comments. Subscribe. Tell us how you feel. Are you living for 80 years? Or do you want to take your legacy and your impact well beyond 80,000 years? Good night. Peace.